Hi everyone, in this tutorial we're going to be talking about materials. We're going to go through standard materials in this session. Basically this is the house that we built last time, and now we're just going to add materials to it. I just added a small railing in here, and I added this topping, and that's it. So all other stuff were done before. So now, to access the material editor, just press the shortcut M so you can access this material editor. If you didn't access this type of material editor, you might end up going to the slate material editor. Just go to modes and you can shift between compact and slate. We're going to be using the compact for now, and first of all I want to add material for the house, for the walls. So first of all, select any blank material, let's say this one, and I'm gonna say name it as walls, and then I'm gonna assign this material to the walls. First of all, the walls, as you can see, as we created them, they are separate objects, so I want to merge them together. So first of all, I'm gonna select the walls, edit poly, and I'm gonna go attach, and I'm gonna attach the headers for the windows, the footers for the windows, and the headers for the doors. And now all the walls are one item. I'm done. Close the attach, and now I'm gonna assign this material, which is the walls, to the object. In here, the materials, first of all, I can change the diffuse color. Instead of having it the gray color, I can make it red, blue, any other color. So now in this case, as you can see, all the walls are taking this material. So instead of having this color, I want to add a texture to it. So instead of having a color, I'm going to go to this bottom in here to have a map. So press in here, and I'll go load a map from here, from the browser. So I'm going to go bitmap, which means a texture from my computer. So I'm going to go bitmap, and I'm going to go to my library, and I'm going to choose, let's say, some kind of walls that fits in here. So I'm going to look for some kind of walls, maybe something. I think this is good. So I'm going to select this, open, and now I have the wall. So I'm going to assign this to the wall, and as you can see, I cannot see it. So if I want to see the texture in here, I have to turn on this display button. Okay, show shaded material in viewport. Click on it, and you can see I cannot see it properly. And I'm going to do a quick render, which is F9. You can see the texture is distorted, and it's not really good, especially on these areas. So I need to fix it. To fix the materials, I need to add a UVW map. So I'm going to go here, UVW map for this, for the walls. And instead of having a planar projection, I'm going to have a box projection. So I'm going to project it from all the sides. Now, the scale is a bit big. I'm going to go to the gizmo, and I can scale it on X and on Z, and I can always take a reference for my X, Y, Z. I can just create a box to see how much I need these to be big, the stones. So I'm gonna go something like this. I guess this is good. So now I have this texture, which is fine. I need to scale it on Y a bit. I think it's fine. So now I ended up doing all the walls as in here. So now what I want to do actually is I want to add a bump map. So I'm going to go to this material, see it. I'm going to go, instead of diffuse, I'm going to go in here, maps. You can see the diffuse in here. It's the same area as the one up, but in a different way. So let's say bump map, I cannot access it from up. I have to access it from here. Instead of having a simple texture, I'm going to add the bump, which is the same image but black and white. So now what happens, if you can see, I'm going to go this icon to go to parent, back to where I was. I'm going to uncheck the bump. This is before, and this is after the bump. So what I added in the bump, actually I added some roughness. So I'm going to go a bit less, 20% or 20 actually. So now I have a bump. And when I quick render, I can see the stones are a bit roughed. So now I ended up with this wall. I can just go and add some other stuff. I can do the same for these. Actually, I did miss them, but I'm gonna try to make them in a different way. So I'm gonna do them in different materials. Let's say 2 or 3 materials. First of all, I'm gonna do the material for the floor. I might not have texture for that, but it's fine. I'm just gonna go and try to look for flooring, and let's say this one. Actually, I'm not sure which one it should be. Okay, let's say this one would be okay. And I'm gonna give this material to the floor. You see, the floor is one piece. Okay, so this is all one piece, which is the ceiling. So now I'm just gonna go and check this, and I'm gonna make sure I UVW map it, and I can see now the texture, which is perfect. I need to scale it down, let's say something like that, which is perfect. And now what I want to do, actually, it's very good for the floor, but I want this texture to be different. Okay, I don't want to use this floor. I want this just to be for the ground. Now what I can do, it's not a big deal, I can just go access and edit mesh modifier, and I'm gonna select all the polygons that I don't want. Actually, I'm gonna select them from here, they're gonna be easier. So I'm gonna select all these, which is everything, and I'm gonna deselect this and this. So now I ended up selecting everything except the floor. So now I'm gonna give these another material. For example, let's say this material, okay, which is gonna be, it's gonna rename it first. So I'm gonna name it, let's say whatever, just don't know what to name it, and I'm gonna assign this to the object. So now I can just give these another material. Let's say I'm gonna give them red. You see? So it's a different material on other than this one. So now I'm just gonna try to access this and give it some kind of material, and make sure something that fits, but actually I'm not sure what I have materials. So maybe something like this concrete, maybe. Okay, I just need to make sure that my UVW map is box, which I can access from all the angles. And now I can access my gizmo and just make sure I'm gonna just scale and move my gizmo to fit. I think it's good. I just created this thing. Maybe they don't really go together, but I really don't have good textures for now, just making the idea. So now I ended up with texturing the walls and this thing in here and the floor in here. I just want to do the same. Actually, this box, I need to give it the same material as these, and I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna copy my UVW map, I'm gonna go to this box now, and I'm gonna paste it to make sure the same scale I have in here, I get it in here, so it's gonna be the same type. Now I need to give materials to the windows and doors and railings. So in here I'm gonna do something new. I'm gonna go to an empty layer, I'm just gonna go to this tab, get material, and I'm gonna go access my AEC templates. If you don't have these loaded, you have just to go in here, load, open material library, and then you go not in here, which is on the documents, my documents. I'm gonna go to the root, which is on the C, program files, Autodesk, Max, let's say 2014 now I'm working on, material libraries, and in here AEC templates. Just open this, you will load it once, and then when you load it you have them. So I have materials done for me for doors, rails, stairs, walls, and windows. What I want to do, actually, I want to access window, and I'm gonna access rails, and actually I need also the doors. Okay, so now what I can do, instead of giving material for the window, if I give it a regular material, let's say window, everything turns gray, or the material. So what I want, actually, I need to have sub-elements, which is, let's say, this part is going to be glass, this part is going to be metal, this part is going to be I don't know what. So I need something to divide, which is done by this material, which is the library. So if I go to this window template, it is divided by IDs, and the window, because it's max windows, it is also divided by IDs. So each ID will take its own material. So if you go in here, inside the material, it's the regular material. So I'm just going to go, this is going to be red, for example. I'm going to go back to parent, go to the back rails. I'm going to make them, let's say, blue. I'm going to go back to parent again, go to the panels. I'm fine. Go to the frame. I'm going to make them cyan, let's say. Again, go to the parent, back frame, and this is going to be, let's say, green. Okay? And the panels, which is actually the glass, I can just change the color, make them, I don't know, yellow. Okay? But they have 50% transparency. Now, what I can do, I can give this material, you can see it's divided by IDs. Now I can just click and drag to the material of the window. Now you can see what each material represents. Let's say front frame, this is the front frame, and this is the front rails. Oh, actually, this is the front rails. I think it's in the opposite side. So this is the back rails, which is in here, and this is the back frame, which is in here. Okay, and the panels are the yellow ones. So now I got a good understanding of how to create the materials for these. So now what I want to do, actually, I need to have a black metal, aluminum, and glass. So I can do, instead of having many materials, I can just create two materials, which is going to be the black one and the glass. So I can create in here, have a black color. I'm going to add specular to it, okay, to make it shiny, okay, because it's a metal, and I'm fine with that. So what I want to do, actually, I'm going to go to pen, I'm going to copy this again to all the others. So I'm going to make it instance, and then instance, and then copy as instance. So everything's going to be black, and the yellow part, I'm going to make it a bit also black to make it tinted, and I'm going to make the opacity, let's say, 75, so that it's not really too transparent, and I'm going to make it also shiny a bit and very narrowed. So now I'm done with that, so I can go here, I'm done. So now I just assign this material. I can do the same for the other windows. I can select them one by one, or I can go in here, search by name, select by name, okay, or the shortcut is H, and now I can go by sliding. So I search sliding and I got all the windows. Okay, I select all the windows now, and I give them my material, which is the same one, and now everything is perfect. All my windows are done. Same thing goes for the doors. I'm going to skip the doors now. I'm going to do the railings. Same thing in here. Go for the railing, and now I'm going to go lower rail and upper rail and everything else. So I'm going to make them also black, okay, and I'm going to make them shiny metal. That's for the railings. So the railings is going to be, this is the lower rail and the posts. The solid fill, I'm going to skip it. The top rails, which is the top, and the pickets, actually I don't have pickets in this case, I have solid fill. Solid fill is this area, which is going to have it to be glass. So I'm going to go in here, just make them glass. Same thing, it's going to make them dark glass and 75%, and make them shiny and narrowed specular. So now I ended up fixing the rail templates. I'm going to click and drag and drop it in here. As you can see, now everything is perfect. It has a black metal, aluminum, and the glass in here. It's tinted glass. If I want to make it not tinted glass, I just can go in here on the rail, just go to the solid fill and just make it, let's say, 20%. And now it's just glass, not tinted. Maybe I want it to be a bit bluish, let's say. I'm going to make it a bit bluish. So let's say something like that. Okay, it's easy. I can just fix it and change whatever I want. So now I ended up doing these textures. And now I'm just going to do the floor. So I'm gonna select the floor. The problem in here, I have the floor is one piece. It's not a big deal. I'm gonna give it one material. It's fine. So I'm gonna select this, name it floor, and I'm gonna assign it to the material. And then instead of color, I'm just gonna go to, and I'm gonna try to give it, let's say, something like that. It's good. Definitely, I'm not gonna see it, so I'm gonna give it a UVW map, and perfect. So now I'm just gonna give it a box, and I can go to the gizmo and just scale it down to have something like that. Okay, not a big deal. I can just close the door in here, make it 0, and I'm gonna close the door in here. So I'm gonna close all the doors. I can also give them materials, but for me it's good for now. Just gonna close this, and I'm gonna close this. All the doors in here I can close and open. Same thing goes for the windows. I can just open and close as we did before. So now I have now the tile in here, which is perfect, and the stairs in here I want to give them different materials. So doesn't matter, I just can select this step and this other step. I give them this material, stairs. I'm done. So now I can just give them any material I want. Let's say red or blue or green, or just give them a texture. Actually, I don't really have a texture for that, I guess. I'm gonna try to see if I have something which fits good with the stairs or this type of stair. Let's say like marble or something. Let's see. We might have something. Actually, I don't think I do have. Just not to waste time. Let's say I'm gonna select this, and that's it. So any texture, I can just fix them and do them. So UVW map, and I'm gonna make it box, extrude, go to the gizmo and just make the gizmo a bit larger, move it up, and I think I need to scale this down, something like that. Okay, I think this is perfect. So now I'm gonna copy this, I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna paste it just to have the same type of material. Same thing, I'm gonna go this in here. So instead of assigning this material in here, I have a problem because I need to detach it. So what I'm gonna do, actually I'm gonna go edit mesh, go to the polygons, I'm gonna select these polygons which are in here, and this one in here, and I'm gonna give them this material. Because I selected edit mesh, should be. But the problem is my UVW map is different, so I'm just gonna go in here and scale it to have this kind of okay, and something like that. I think it's good. Now done, and I have still this area which I didn't work with it, so now I can select this and this and this area, all the surrounding of the house. Perfect. So now I give them these, let's say one other material. Let's say I'm going to give them brick. So I'm going to give them this material. I'm going to call brick, and now I'm just going to go in here, maps, bitmap. I'm going to go something like brick and give it a brick. Actually, if I have everything ready, it will be different. so things would be much better. So now I just gave it this material, and I'm gonna just and something like that. And I'm gonna go in here because I cannot change the UV because I fixed it in here. So I'm gonna go inside the material and use the tile. I'm gonna tile it, something like that. Perfect. So I'm done, and now I have my materials ready. Okay, let's say I want to import some models. Just gonna go in here, import, and I'm gonna merge 3D Max file into here. I can go into my libraries and I can access, for example, chairs, beds, whatever, electronics, whatever. Let's say I'm gonna go access a tree. I'm gonna access this tree, open. I'm gonna load them both. I'm gonna group them, tree, and I'm gonna align it in here to make sure it's in here. So I can get the tree in here, make sure it's on scale. This is a big tree. I can scale it down, but I think it's good because it's a big tree. So let's say that's gonna be my tree in here, and maybe I can copy this tree and make another tree on the other side and make it go further. Okay, just gonna make the instance and move it here. Okay, so now I have these trees. Same thing, I can just go import and merge, and I can merge instead of trees, I can go merge, let's say, chairs and beds and whatever. So I'm gonna go merge some, let's say a bed. I'm gonna merge a simple bed, let's say this one, open. I load them all. Okay, I don't need the light because these are very ready. So I'm gonna go okay. I'm gonna group it, and I'm gonna name it beds. Usually why I'm grouping them, because they are in here on the 0, 0. So what I want, actually I want them to be here. So I'm gonna Shift A, snap it, and you can see this is my bed. So if actually what I did, open, I don't need these stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna undo it again. Make sure in here I need the bed only. Group, ungroup, and I need the bed, which is this. And now I'm gonna go in here, and I can just access the top view. Okay, the file is getting a bit heavy, and that's my bedroom in here. I can just rotate, let's say, or maybe let's say like that, and that's the bed in here, and just make sure on the height it's not underneath flow, and that's the floor. I can snap it to make it sure 100%, and that's how I can import my models. So if I go in here, I can hide the ceiling, I can see my bed in here, I can have everything, all the furniture, I can furnish the environment. That's it. So unhide all, and now I ended up having some kind of nice environment. Okay, so all I need to do, just create an environment in here, add it, maybe render it, and go to Photoshop, and then do one last render. That's it for now. Thank you for listening, and have a good day.